The Long Strange Trip of Bob Weir a while back and thought that title would be a good summation of my life. I'm a recovering alcoholic and have been for many years. During cancer treatments, I became addicted to pain medication. As soon as I was finished with treatments, I enrolled myself in a 28-day inpatient mental health and addiction treatment center. As it turned out, I felt completely at home in a mental health facility. I had 4 roommates. One, a young member of the blood gang from NYC. One, a 25-year-old drug dealer from Rochester, or The Rock, as he called it. One, a fentanyl patch-eating 70-year-old grandpa who walked with a stick he had hand-carved. And a 50-year-old alcoholic, fresh out of the ER where he'd been treated for DTs. There were people from all walks of life with various mental health and addiction issues. They ran the full spectrum, a melting pot of unwellness. Some were coming from or on the way back into jail. Some were fresh off the streets, looking for a bed and a free meal. Streets are unforgiving. Enter Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster showed up looking exactly the way I felt. He wore an untied, improperly fitting Timberland work boots without socks, soiled, baggy sweatpants, a greasy head of silver hair that had not been washed, cut, or brushed in years exploded off his scalp in every direction. His bloodshot eyes stared blankly into some abyss. Weirdest of all, he wore an oversized Cookie Monster t-shirt. Like me, I thought, that gentleman must also be experiencing divorce proceedings. Everyone immediately started calling the new arrival Cookie Monster, which I thought cruel at first, but eventually agreed it was the proper moniker. So Cookie Monster sat down next to me in the lounge. I was seeking knowledge by reading a self-help book called Going Home, Jesus and Buddha as Brothers. And suddenly, a bizarre feeling like a sixth sense overcame me. I glanced up. Cookie Monster seemed to be watching TV, except the TV was off. Or was it? I wondered this until it was time to go to group counseling. Cookie Monster didn't come to group. He stayed and watched the rest of his non-existent show. I heard later that at one point the staff had to help him back to his room because the devil himself had showed up to interrupt paid programming. That Saturday, we boarded a white van and headed to the local park for our weekly outing. Like children, we were advised not to wander off and told to meet back at the van in an hour. As I made my way to a bench to sit under a tree, Cookie Monster approached me. He got right in my face.
You have any crack?
Crack? Crack
Yeah.
cocaine?
Yeah.
No, sir, I don't have any crack cocaine.
You got any cigarettes?
No, sir, I don't have any cigarettes either.
Okay.
And then he shuffled off, matter-of-factly, in the opposite direction as I shuffled back to my bench. An hour later, the group met as the van as instructed, except for one, no Cookie Monster. We all loaded into the van and drove around looking for him. The counselor was hanging out the driver's window, yelling,
Cookie Monster! Cookie Monster, where are you?
We pulled over next to a young mother pushing a baby stroller and holding a toddler's hand. The counselor yelled out the passenger window.
Excuse me, miss? Have you seen a middle-aged man wearing a Cookie Monster t-shirt? Maybe asking for drugs?
No, I haven't.
She pulled her older child close. We continued our drive. And then, what? Up on the hilltop, a blue speck appeared near the tree line. He looked like the second coming of Christ. Cookie Monster, arms outstretched, loped across an open field toward the van. We made room for him to squeeze in. The young lady sitting next to me, between me and Cookie Monster, whispered,
Can we trade seats? I'm afraid he'll bite me.
Sure. I shimmied over next to Cookie Monster. About halfway through the ride back to the facility, Cookie Monster turned to me.
You like Ozzy?
Yeah, I like Augier.
You like AC/DC?
I do like AC/DC.
Cool.
Cookie Monster and I like the same music. We'd made a connection. I mean, crazy or not, I had to agree with the guy. It is cool. But a second later, he had turned away and stared at nothing. Must have been time for his imaginary show on TV.